Hello everyone. Now today we're gonna discuss about a very interesting paramedical course, DMLT, Diploma in Medical Laboratory Technology. This is 2 year duration course. Now we're gonna figure out its first year syllabus, what we have to study under first year in this course. Hi, this is Amir. Now there is a 3 subject in DMLT first year with practical and viva. We're gonna looking towards one by one. There is a first subject in this course is human anatomy and physiology, which is of 100 marks. Now second one is clinical biochemistry, which is of 100 marks, and the third one is hematology, which is also of 100 marks. Now fourth and the last one is practical and viva, which is of 140 marks. And there is a minimum marks for distinction in individual subject is 70% in the subject concerned, and pass marks in each subject is theory 50%, which is 50 marks, and practical and viva 50%, which is 70 marks. Now we're gonna discuss about each subject separately. First of all, we start with human anatomy. General and systemic anatomy. First of all, introduction of a scope of anatomical terms, anatomical position of the body and connective tissue, fibrous tissue, tendon, aponeurosis, cartilage. Now our second topic is muscle. In this we have to study voluntary and involuntary muscle, short description of the structure of different muscles, classification of voluntary muscles, origin and its insertion. Now second one is bone, in which we have to study development of bone, parts of long bones and blood supply of bone. General remarks about the bone of skull, thorax, vertebral column and extremities. And our next one is cartilaginous joints, in which we have to study definition and classification of joints, structure of synovial joints, movement of joints, blood supply of bones and joints, radiological joints. Now next one is nervous system, in which we have to study nerve cell, synapse and reflex arc. And the next one is cardiovascular system. In anatomy we have to study blood as a connective tissue, functions in short, gross anatomy of heart with demonstration of surface anatomy. And the next one is respiratory system. In anatomy we have to study general outline of respiratory passage, gross anatomy of lungs, pleura with demonstration and surface anatomy, bronchopulmonary segments, intercostal muscles and mechanism of respiration. And the next one is digestive system. In anatomy we have to study only general idea or outline of gastrointestinal. And the next one is excretory system. In anatomy we have to study structure and function of kidney, general outline of ureters, urinary bladders and urethra, demonstration of organs. And the next one is reproductive system, in which we have to study general outline of male and female genital organ. And the next one is general embryology, in which we have to study gametogenesis, fertilization, implantation, embryonic phase and placenta. And the next one is osteology of superior extremity, in which we have to study clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius, ulna. And the next one is soft part of superior extremity, in which we have to study front of arm, back of arm, cuboidal fossa, front of forearm, nerves and vessels of forearm, palm, dorsal of hand, joint of hand, temporomandibular joint. And the next one is osteology of inferior extremity, in which we have to study hip bone, femur, tibia, fibula and patella, dorsal. And the next one is soft part of inferior extremity, in which we have to study front of thigh, medial compartment of thigh, gluteal region, back of thigh, popliteal fossa, interior compartment of leg, posterior compartment of leg. And also we have to study osteology of cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, coccyx, rib, intervertebral disc. And the last but not the least, neuroanatomy, in which we have to study in detail with applied and clinical aspect with demonstration of brain and spinal cord, sulci and various areas of cerebral hemisphere, pons and medulla, spinal cord with ascending and descending tract in detail, clinical application of knowledge of the tracts, autonomic nervous system, nervous control of urinary bladder and bladder dysfunctions, cranial nerves. Now human anatomy is almost complete. we have to move towards the next subject, which is human physiology. General physiology. First of all, introduction of cell structure and organelles, body fluid compartments. Now our second topic in human physiology is blood. In this we have to study composition of blood, plasma, protein formation and their functions, structure, formation and functions of erythrocyte, lymphocyte and thrombocyte, hemoglobin, coagulation and its defeats, bleeding and clotting time, blood group and their significance, RS factor and blood transfusion, reticuloendothelial system, jaundice and function of spleen. And the next one in physiology is cardiovascular system, in which we have to study structural properties of heart muscles and nerve supply of heart, structure and function of heart, arteries, arterioles, capillary and veins, cardiac cycle and heart sound, cardiac output, measurement, factors affection, heart rate and its regulation, cardiovascular reflexes, blood pressure, its regulation and physiological variation, hemorrhage, ECG, change in muscular exercise. And next one is respiratory system. In physiology, we have to study mechanism of respiration, intrapleural and intrapulmonary pressure, lungs volume and capacities, oxygen and carbon dioxide carriage and their exchange in tissue and lungs, nervous chemical regulation of respiration, respiratory centers, asphyxia, cyanosis, exclamation. And the next one is digestive system, in which we have to study general outline of digestive system and salivary digestion, gastric secretion and its mechanism of secretion and function, mechanism of secretion of succus intricus and pancreatic juice and its function, structure and secretion and function of liver. And the next one is endocrine system, in which we have to study interior pituitary, posterior pituitary, thyroids and parathyroids, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla, thymus, pancreas and blood sugar regulations. And the next one is excretory system, in which we have to study structure and function of kidney, renal circulation, auto-regulation of GFR, excretion and absorption by renal lobules, countercurrent hypothesis, renal function disease, physiology of maturation. And the last but not the least in physiology, neuromuscular physiology, in which we have to study types of muscles, microscopic structure of muscles, properties of muscles, comparison of various type of muscles, sacroma, mechanism of muscular contraction, thermal and chemical changes during muscular contraction, Starling's law, isotonic, isomerism contraction, chronaxy, Riobase, action potential, motor unit and its properties, clonus, tetanus, fatigue, summation, all or none law, beneficial effect, electromyography, applied aspects, nerve fibers classification, spread of impulse, velocity of nerves, condition, factors affecting velocity, saltatory conduction, neuromuscular junction, drugs action on it, myasthenia gravis, atrophy, hypertrophy, degeneration and regeneration of nerve fibers, Wallerian degeneration, electrotonus, Fluger's law. Now human physiology is almost complete. We have to move towards the next subject, which is clinical biochemistry. First of all, introduction of common laboratory equipments and glasswares. Now our second topic is analytical biochemistry, in which we have to study principles and uses of calorimeter, spectrometer, flame photometer, fluorometer, semi-auto analyzer, ELISA, RIA. And the next topic is physical chemistry, in which we have to study pH and buffer solution, radioactive electrophoresis, chromatography. Now we have to study clinical biochemistry, in which we have to study specimen processing for biochemical analysis, chemistry, principles, procedure, calculation and preparation of a standard curve and result with clinical significance of blood sugar, urea, non-proteinous nitrogen, cholesterol, triglyceride, creatinine, total protein, albumin, globulin ratio, bilirubin, alkaline phosphatase, SGPT, SGOT, and introduction of urine, stool, body fluids with their biochemical examination. Now our biochemistry subject is almost completed. Our next subject is hematology. First of all, introduction, common laboratory equipments, glasswares, and microscope. Now our second topic is again blood in hematology. Here we have to study composition of blood and its function, origin and developments of blood cells. And the next one is phlebotomy, in which we have to study blood collection in detail. And our next topic is anticoagulant, in which we have to study common anticoagulants used, their composition, amount, mechanism of action and methods of preparation of blood vials, method of counting of erythrocyte, leukocyte and platelets, method of estimation of hemoglobin, method of determination of packed cell volume, calculation of different red cell indices, drawing of peripheral blood smear, bone marrow slides and their staining methods, differential leukocyte count, reticulocyte staining and counting, erythrocyte sedimentation rate, basic test for disorder of coagulation, bleeding time, clotting time, prothrombin time, activated partially thromboplastin time, LE cell phenomenon, red cell fragility, abnormal hemoglobin, and our last but not the least, blood banking, in which we have to study blood group, method of grouping and reverse typing, basic blood banking procedure, collection of blood, anticoagulants used, storing of blood, cross matching, Comb test for incomplete antibodies, different blood components in use and how to solve a requisition. Now we have completed almost DMLT syllabus of first year.